Hi, it's Asen again from the Quest. This is going to be update number 1, and like I said, I'm going to read this, so it may be a little bit awkward, and like I say, I'm not an expert at doing this sort of thing, so here we go. This was one of the first ones we did publicly. I have a history of doing this, but about a year and a half ago I decided to do this publicly. I don't know why, but I feel maybe this is the way to really make a change when I see nobody else really making that big a difference or even a dent in it. But here we go. I didn't have the dates when I first started writing all of these, but I did add some of the information in there, so I remember each one of them as though it was the day that it happened. What happened was the very first one here that we did publicly was that, well, I guess I got to give you a little bit of background. I have a lot of people that work with me, and there's a lot of soldiers that come to me, but I'm very picky about who works for us in the sense of the actual rescues, because it takes a certain individual. We're not vigilantes. Killing is not our thing. The idea is to rescue these kids, but we'll do it with whatever cost it takes to do this. So anyways, just giving you a little bit of background prior to this, and as you see the rest of these updates, you'll also I'll give you a lot of more information. This is the best way that I know how to convey it to you. Anyways, we have created what you call an underground from Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, and into Cambodia. We're also starting to develop into the Philippines, underground railroads. We have surrogate parents, we have orphanages that work for us. The unique thing about the Quest is that we have Muslims, Christians, Catholics, Jewish, Buddhists, we got monks, we got priests, we got a little of everything. We also have follow-up, but we'll get into that later. Anyways, what was happening was one of our soldiers, all of my soldiers, the men are called G.I. Joe, and the women are G.I. Janes, and they are amazing heroes. A little bit about that. They come to us, a lot, after a while as a soldier. If you're a soldier, you understand you can get pretty scarred, doing your duty, because a lot of times you don't know why you're doing it or for what purpose it may be. There's the yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And it's tough, but when they come to me, they're seeking something that they can use their talents, the things that they know, and they know going in what the mission is. They know the danger. They know they may not come back, and that's okay. But they know also the outcomes. They know what's going to take place once we have these kids, and it makes a difference in their life, and they become addicted to doing this service for mankind. Anyways, one of our people, I call her G.I. Jane, she's a real badass, and she noticed there was a motorbike, and it was traveling. One of the things is that most of the children that they use in the brothels in Cambodia and such is from Vietnam because of their skin. Their skin's a lot lighter, and they become more popular, and they can get more money for these children. So what they do is they get the girls in Vietnam, and they bring them into these other places. Most primarily is Cambodia. But anyways, she saw they were being transported, in a bike, and there's four little girls, and so she stopped them. And cigars, love cigars. Anyway, she offered to buy them, So what we have to do is we have to first acquire the money, and then what they do is they call me, and then I assure them that they'll send them the money. Anyways, we managed to make a deal for $200 to buy 4 little girls. One of them was age 7, 11, 14, and 12 years old. And it was interesting how it came to be. The 7-year-old was bought from the parents, and the 11-year-old was bought from the parents. The 14-year-old was kidnapped, and the 12-year-old they tricked the parents, offering a different job, that they'd return money and such. And what happened was, with like the 7-year-old, like I say, we do the follow-up. What happened with the 7-year-old was, we found out the parents weren't worth being returned to. We have people that work for us, like social workers and such, that can evaluate the children and evaluate the condition of their home environment and what would happen to the kid if we returned them. And most of the time they don't return the children because of the conditions, drugs, and so on and so forth. And you know, in these cultures, the girls are considered more of a burden than they are of any benefit to the family. All they are is another mouth to feed. And when you're looking at, you know, $30 a month income, and you got 4 kids, and the boys can go out and do some, you know, do work or go collect metals or something like that in order to sell, then the value of the girls become even more of a burden, and they become a product, and they're sold either for drugs or for money or for whatever it may be. So anyways, that one was sent to an orphanage. The 11-year-old was also taken into our Underground Railroad, and they found a place for her in one of the orphanages. After we investigated who the parents were, the child would not have survived and would have most likely have been returned to the brothels. The 14-year-old that was kidnapped, we investigated and found out the parents really didn't know what had happened, and were really distraught about the loss of their child. And they convinced us that you know, they would take care of her as a child, and they did, and she was returned. The 12-year-old, they had tricked the parents into selling her into you know, a good job and all that, and that they would be returning money. And the problem is that by returning her to her parents, is that they would come back after her. They don't like losing their cargo or their product. And so what we managed to do was be able to relocate them, and actually was able to provide them with better work and living conditions. So it's better always to be with their parents if it's possible. So, and then another thing is that these guys will go into like Vietnam and such and get these girls, and then they'll transport them to the brothels, and then they sell them to the brothels. So these are some of the things that we look for, is you know, if they're in transport, because a lot of times we can buy them, just like this time we was able to buy them for $200, 4 girls. It's $50 each. And then let's do another one. Yeah, there was there was another one in transport. There was 2 little girls. One of them was age 7, one of them was age 13, and both of them had been sold by their parents to these men to be taken to the brothels. And you know, a lot of times they'll only pay like $20 or $30 for the children, for the girls. Anyways, they were in transport, and during transport, one of our team members saw this and recognized what was going on, And so then one of our tactical people was called in, and they happened to be with two of the others. And so they were close in the neighborhood, and they followed this person that was transporting him. And when they stopped to go into the store, we liberated the motorcycle along with the girls. And both of those girls have found a place in orphanages that will be taken care of. So for now, let's go with that, and stay tuned for following updates. Thank you.